Are you thinking about planning your very first Alaska cruise and are wondering, is this cruise really for me? Well, this video is for you. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, Rob from Cruise Seekers, and welcome to our show today. Today we're going to talk about Alaska cruises and if that cruise is for you. But before we get into all the information, I would like to thank everybody who has become a member of this Cruise Seekers community. Thank you so much for doing it. We love having you here. We love having you part of this community. And if you are not just a member just yet, hey, think about subscribing, turn that notification bell on. It is so important to us. We would love to have you here as well. And while you're down there, hit that like button. It does help that YouTube algorithm. It does help other people find this channel and get great cruise tips and cruise reviews and cruise deals. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about why an Alaska cruise might not be for you. So Cheryl and I just got back from an Alaska cruise. We were on Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas. It's a great ship, folks. Need a little bit of kind of paint on the outside, but we'll get into that in a cruise review video later in the week. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about sometimes I had some conversations with people on this ship and we were talking about how are they liking this cruise and if they are enjoying it. And I got some really interesting feedback about Alaska cruises and how some people might be saying, you know what, I'm not sure if this cruise is for me, but we're glad we did it. But it was probably something that, you know, if I thought a little bit more about, I might not have done. So anyway, I figured let's kind of take all that information that I got from different people on the ships and make a great video about why an Alaska cruise might not be for you. Now, the first reason why an Alaska cruise might not be for you is the weather. If you are expecting perfect weather, even if it's cold, you just are expecting beautiful blue skies, wonderful vistas, you're going to maybe be sorely disappointed. We just got off our ship and we had, of the 7 days, 6 days of cold, rain, and wet and fog. So you can get something like that with Alaska. It's never ever guaranteed to get great weather. Just because you think you're going to, hey, we're going to go to Alaska, I hope we get great weather, and you're hoping and you're hoping, the odds are you're going to get maybe a few days that are not so great. We were very unlucky with pretty much every day not being great, but you can get that. So if you are really, really particular about having good weather on a cruise, Alaska might not be for you because, you know, you're going to have to pack rain gear, extra layers, all those things. Even if you're going during the high season, you can get some cold spells there too. So just remember, Alaska weather will not adhere to your desires at all. Sometimes you might get really, really lucky and have perfect weather, but the odds are you're going to have a few days that you're going to say, it's really cold, it's really wet, and it's really foggy. The next thing we're going to talk about is the reason why people go to Alaska is to see the amazing wildlife that's out there, right? They want to see bald eagles. They want to see whales. They want to see otters. They want to see bears, you name it. They're going to want to see these things. But you know what? Nature is finicky. It's just going to happen, folks. You might be staring at a forest for 3 hours and not see a bear, not see an eagle. You might be staring out into the water looking for a whale and not see a whale. Maybe this would work. A whale.
You don't speak whale.
No. I guess my whale, I speak New York dialect whale.
Yeah.
And it's not working for Alaska whales. We'll see next time. You're gonna need a lot of patience, folks. It's just the way it is. Sometimes nature just doesn't want to cooperate. And if it's something that you feel that, like, if I'm going to Alaska, I need to see this, I need to see that, I need to see the other thing. Well, you're gonna have to set your expectations. You're gonna have to say, I hope to see a bear. I hope to see some whales. I hope to see, you know, whatever it might be. You're gonna have to say, I hope, because you just don't know. The next thing I want to talk about Alaska is the expense of these cruises. First off, the cruise itself is usually more expensive. That's usually because there is a much higher taxes, fees, and port expenses associated with American and Canadian ports. So if you're used to the Caribbean and seeing, you know, port fees in the 150 to 170 range, you're going to see double that number. So right off the bat, for two people, you're going to get an extra, you know, $250 to $350 more per, cruise just from the port fees and expenses. And because it is a limited season and limited amount of, ships that go up to Alaska, they're in high demand. So the cruise lines are going to charge more for the actual cruise fare as well. And forget about it if you're talking about a balcony. The balconies are going to come at a premium. So many people, when they go to Alaska, want a balcony so that they can kind of just watch nature go by. That's just a premium that they're going to charge for. You're going to see a big difference in pricing for those balconies versus, say, an inside or an ocean view cabin. So Alaska cruises in and of itself are more expensive. Now, then you talk about the excursions, right? The excursions for Alaska are insanely expensive. They are very, very pricey. For a helicopter ride or maybe dog sledding or maybe just going to the glacier, they just are very expensive. It is what it is, folks. You're going to have to understand that Alaska cruises are expensive. And if you are kind of a budget cruiser, you might want to have to put Alaska off until you feel that you have the right budget to go, because there's no reason to go to Alaska, sit on a boat and not do anything around the port. Now, the other thing too is when you're in port, if you want to go grab some seafood, because you always hear, oh, the Alaska seafood, we got to go. Well, those restaurants are expensive too. So just understand that, folks. It's an expensive cruise. Now, the final thing I want to say about Alaska is the ports. The ports tend to be very small, town type of feels to it. They're not big cities. They're not huge things to kind of see and do within that port. So if you like to kind of explore cities and view the, the different cosmopolitan nature of the cities, Alaska's not for you. Basically, these ports do two things. They do fishing and they do tourism. And they really are focused on you as a tourist when you get there. So if you feel like you're in a tourist trap all the time, you're going to get that feel when you're in Alaska and an Alaska port. So just be on guard with that. If you want to try to find, hidden areas, hidden gems, these are small cities. The most biggest areas in those towns where most people congregate are very touristy. So just understand that you're not going to have these little haunches and little spaces that you sometimes think about going to when you go to a bigger port of call. It's not going to happen in Alaska. So if that's important to you, Alaska might not be for you. Well, so there you go, folks. Those are the 4 things why I think Alaska might not be the perfect cruise vacation for you. If any one of those 4 things kind of are a really, really important thing for you, you must see nature. I must have really nice ports of call. I must really, really go and see the weather being perfect. Those type of things. I'm a budget shopper and I don't want to spend a lot of money when I'm doing my excursions. If you're any one of those type of things, you're going to want to think about your Alaska cruise and if this is the right thing for you to do, and really kind of mitigate and make decisions based upon those things. Because, if weather is really important to you, go during the high seasons. Don't go during the shoulder season. If expense is really, really important to you, then you're going to have to kind of forego the better weather and kind of go during the shoulder season. So there's this balancing act with Alaska. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hey, give it a big thumbs up. It really does help us. It really does help that YouTube algorithm. It does help other people find this channel. And if you've been watching this video up to this point already, hey, think about subscribing, turn that notification bell on. It is very, very appreciated by us. Thank you so much for doing it. And while we're talking about Alaska and what you think maybe why you might not want to go, leave some comments down below. Let us know what is important to you when you go visit Alaska. Is any one of these 4 items something that you didn't really think about and you're wondering, I don't know if I should go to Alaska just yet. It's not really that high on my bucket list. I might maybe put it off a little later. Let us know in the comments. We love comments. We love engaging with you folks in the comment section. We just enjoy talking with you folks there. So until we talk again next time, this is Rob from Cruise Seekers reminding each and every one of you to always seek the seas. Bye now.